Oh, that's a higher principle. Oh, but a lot of people say, get as many as you can get. From who? Freebies. Oh, I could tell you an hour story about that. And some people who ask for it, they got a lot of money. They drive a Mercedes. Oh, but they get a lot of people. They're not beggars. They beg the opposite. This guy is pitiful because of his condition. He's a beggar. This guy also is without direction. Isn't that what you have with the blind? Sometimes you see the blind with the dog, right? What's the dog for? To protect him from robbers? No. That's what you call guide dog. Not security dog. No, guide dog. Because the dog will guide him, to go home or to go to the store or to walk on the street. And a blind person not only pitiful without direction, he's also without assurance. He's not so sure whether this is the right road. That's why sometimes not sure of what he got in front of him. In other words, what can you really expect from a blind man? What's so mysterious about this is that Jesus is the answer in this illustration of this story. Jesus is the answer to people who are pitiful. Do you know some people who are kawawa, pitiful? That's why when I give at somebody, what is it, like bigger, that $1, whenever I give him $1, I always say, you need Jesus more than this $1. I give him a tract at the same time. I say, kawawa siya. You see people without direction in their life? They try this, they try that. Oh, this is that, they try. They need Jesus because Jesus is the hope of the blind. Do you know people who are always worried about this and that? Oh, where am I going to get this? Where am I going to live? Where am I going to... Always, kawawa din. You have no assurance. They need Jesus. This story, no wonder John spent the whole chapter. Because this is the answer to the people who are pitiful in sight. This is the answer to the people without direction in their life. This is the answer to the people who have no assurance of what they're doing or where they're heading. This is the story that reveals that. A mystery revealed. Because you find a lot of people, they got degree, they got money, but they are not sure of their life. There are people who are famous and everything, but they are kawawa. They have to take a pill to just go to sleep. They have to go to this place in order to be happy. Oh, I see, Jesus is that. For many, here's the next point. For many, he is just what? A blind man. Yeah. The guy is blind, begging there. That's the way they know him. What can you really expect from this man's life? Well, if he is a lawyer, well, you can expect a lot from him. He's a doctor, he's a nurse. We have nurses. She's Sister Charlie. A lot can be expected from her. She's a nurse. Brother Fidel, a lot is expected from him. Do you know that he fixed the broken pipe when it's raining and dark? And he can still do it? Bless his heart. Because smart guy. And willing to sacrifice. Well, what can you expect from a blind man who's only begging for his lunch and dinner? Not a whole lot, right? Here's the mystery of God. That through this man, the awesome power of God will be displayed. Amen. If Sister Sherwin write a $1,000 check to put in that offering, you would probably say, well, she's a nurse. She can afford that. Not much surprise there. Ooh, but for a blind person to put $1,000 there, we'll all be shocked. Especially if he's a beggar. See, this story, like I said, is full of mystery. No one has ever able to open the blind man's eye from birth. That's why this is one of the greatest miracles that ever happened in the history of this world. And yet, it happened. It was made in a man who is so pitiful. A man who doesn't work much. And yet something so amazing, so great was produced by this man's life. The mystery is that God do wonders. He do wonders. He is not looking for God to do wonders. Here's the mystery. For God to do wonders, He is not looking for someone great, someone strong, someone rich, someone powerful. The mystery is He can use a poor blind beggar to make wonders in this world.
Amen.
Do you know what that means? That means you're a good candidate for God to do wonders. Why? Well, you're a lot better than a poor beggar. If He can do that to a poor beggar, what more for you?
Yeah, amen.
What is it in you that prevents God from making wonders of your life? You see, that to me sometimes mysterious thing I have to ask myself. Is there anything that God can make out of this life of mine that will become a tiny little wonder to my children or to my grandkids or to a friend? Because if He can do this kind of wonder to someone who is just begging, can you imagine what He can do for someone so smart like you? I talked to a Christian last Friday night about uploading in the YouTube my simple little song. That would be a wonder. And he said, I asked him, how long will it take you to upload it? He said, maybe an hour or so. What? I thought he would say, give me a day or two. But he said, he can do it in just hours. And that means he's really smart. And he's smart.
Amen.
And he said he will charge me for, what, $1 or something like that? That is to me mysterious. I told him, hey, charge me the right amount and just give it to the mission pastor. And then he said, that's a wonder. I'll do that. You see, if God can do this to this man, like I said, you're a good candidate. And then one day we'll say, just like when they said to this man, is that really you? You that person in Delta, right? Yeah. Wow. Why are you like that today? That's what they say. You're the one who's begging, right? Yeah. You're blind. How come you now can walk? What's a wonder? Could it be that someday one of you will be a wonder also? And people will say, is that really you? Sister Grace Isiderio? She's already a wonder to me, but she can be a wonder in another way. But you see, it can only happen if you live in accordance to God's will. It's not going to happen to everybody. This man, somebody said, oh, it happened in the Bible, it must be true to me. No. Because if that's true, then Judas hanged himself after he found, convicted of a sin. you're not ready to hang yourself too every time you get convicted of sin. It's in the Bible. But you see, it's in the Bible to show what could happen to a man who lived according to God's will. And then we have the elements that are also mysterious. The elements of this event was also mysterious. When he said this, he spat on the ground, made clay of the spittle, and applied the clay to his eyes, and said to him, "Go, wash in the pool of Siloam." So he went away and washed. I'm telling you, dirt, at spittle. What can you get out of dirt and spittle? You know, old people, they don't know what to do with spittle. They say, it's gross. When I was a kid, spittle is very important to us. We know how to make use of spittle. Because we have Mongol for our pencil, and sometimes we look at the answer of the other guy and say, that's better than mine. So we don't have erasers. We use the spittle to erase what we write. Did you do that too? Well, maybe you are so high-tech. You're so high-tech, but us in the province, we use Mongol without eraser. So we're good at using spittle to erase our answer. And then you look at another guy, what's your answer? And then you think, oh, that one is even better, so you do it. And then if you see a paper with a hole, because it's been grabbed so many times by the same spittle, you know, other than that, to erase something, I don't know what's good for spittle, except sometimes we use it as a pandikit. Something to make things stick, use a spittle. There's not much you can make use of spittle. The mystery is here, that God can use anything, anywhere, anytime when He makes wonders. It doesn't matter what. Even something so insignificant as a piece of dirt or a spittle, God can make wonders out of that. And that's a mystery. Two of the most insignificant things on planet Earth, a piece of dirt and a piece of spittle. But God makes wonders. Until today, people are blessed with that dirt and spittle. That's what God can do. That to me is a mystery. And God says, there's nothing impossible. If God can make use of dirt and spittle, when you go home, look at yourself in front of a mirror. Compare yourself to a dirt and a spittle. What can God make use of you in terms of fulfilling His plan, His purpose for your life? If people are depressed or anything like that, tell them to read this story. They might come out, you know, if God has something to come out of dirt and spill, I'm sure my life is much, much more worth than that. They might not jump to Golden Gate Bridge if they are ready to do so, if you tell them this story. In closing, what do you think God, or how would God do that wonder in your life if you live according to His will? You know, I predict that if you live according to His will, and if you give yourself to God, there will be another mystery. And the only question is, what kind of mystery will that be? May I live to see the mystery that God will perform in your life when you decide to give your life to God. This man, until today, his life is still blessing people. Being what? A pitiful blind beggar. What more? Think of yourself as you sit there. Is there anything that God can make wonder of this life of mine? Not necessarily a whole lot of multitude. What about those around me? Those in my home, those among my relatives, those among my friends. Is there anything that God can make use of me to make them wonder and see the glory of God? To make them realize who Jesus is in my life, in my experience. We'll look at the rest of the mysteries next Sunday. But to me, these are lots of mysteries already. One of them is good enough for me. So if you go home, when you go home this afternoon, again, like I said, look at the mirror and say, that is a person that God is waiting to have another vision. And pat yourself at the back. And when you talk alone to yourself,